Hi, welcome. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this reading. My name is Cynthia. Thank you for being here. Happy Beltane Eve and happy May Day Eve for all you radical workers out there. I hope if you're going to be participating in any of the May Day activities tomorrow that you are safe and stay radical and stay pro-labor, pro-worker, anti-obeying, right? It's a day for the opposite of that. I keep going back and forth because a lot of my being a fighter in the streets has kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. I've decided to kind of quiet some of that and do a little bit more behind the scenes work lately. So I had been doing things like writing to imprisoned people and participating in rapid response for ICE response if ICE is active in the community, right? But May Day is so close to my heart that it's like, God, okay, maybe I'm going to go do some May Day events tomorrow. There's a lot of mixed ideas out there for these nationwide organized events that are solidarity based. Like the one that I was thinking about going to tomorrow, there's like this big lecturing post on it about do not break any laws of any kind, and if you do, we will be calling law enforcement. And to me, it's like, well, how is that even a May Day rally then? Because if you look at the history of May Day and the Haymarket Affair, May 1st to May 4th, and historically, around turn of the century when the labor movement was strongest, the police were not friendly to the labor movement. They were in there beating people up, killing workers, breaking up rallies and protests and boycotts and strikes. They just were not, they were basically like class traitors when that was happening. In 2011, up where I live near Longview, Washington, there was a ILWU rebellion when the Port of Longview started trying to break the union contract and hire outside companies to come in and offload shipping containers and whatnot. And the ILWU were like, fuck that. They went down there and they got radical. They were overturning the grain cars. They were doing stuff that were like, this isn't how it goes. Labor has no fear of getting radical and fighting for our workers' rights, right? And the police completely were violent during that whole rebellion. They arrested people. It was very egregious what the police did. And it's no surprise, right? That's what police do. They support big business and capital. They don't support the labor movement. They don't support the little guy, right? That's not what they were created for. It's not to say that each individual cop is, you know, a bad person or not. It's about the institution of policing is what we're talking about here. So instantly I was like, well, I don't even know if I want to go to that rally if everybody on the outset is like law and order, like what kind? It's not even a rally then. It's like a bunch of people standing around hoping that everybody stays cool. It's like, how is that? I don't know. I just don't resonate with it. My family member that wants to go and was seeing if I would go with them kind of filled me in because I didn't know this. She was saying that the reason that's happening in part is because they're worried that the Trump administration is going to declare a martial law even if it encroaches into just basically peaceful civil disobedience, which I could see that actually because he's looking for any reason to be more and more fascist. But that's not the fault of us. That doesn't mean we're supposed to get more meek, right? It means being willing to take chances and take risks. And if you don't want to take those kind of risks, then don't go out into the streets. That's my belief. So I'm all confused and torn now about whether I want to go to that rally the more I think about what they were saying of like, we will notify the authorities if you're breaking any laws. We want this to be a peaceful, nonviolent, law-abiding event. And it's like, that is not May Day. I'm sorry, it's just not. That's not the history of May Day, and it's definitely not the history of the labor movement. The labor movement was very willing and still maintains a willingness to get radical and fight back, including the police, because what else do we have? We're out-armed. We don't have the money. We're not the 1%, right? Like, we're workers. What we have is our labor to leverage against what everybody's threatening us with. That's all we have. And so it means getting radical. It means fighting back. It means going on strike. It means doing things like even civil disobedience that's peaceful. It's like this group was saying no to any of that. So the other one that I was thinking about attending is a lot more like, we're pro-union, we're pro-labor, we're anti-government intervention, right? And we're pro-immigrant. We want, it includes supporting the rights of workers that harvest your food, whether they're documented or not. They're workers, just like we are. We're workers, right? We're not each other's enemy. That rally is a lot more in alignment with what I vibe with. So I'm kind of thinking, if I even go, I'll go to one of those. But like I said, you can be radical and do behind the scenes work. You don't even have to be in the streets. You can do things like help imprisoned people know they're not forgotten by writing them letters, doing rapid response, like trying to help families recover and respond to what they need to do if ICE comes in and sweeps their home, raids their employment place, and half the family gets hauled off, right? Like, that's the kind of work that's also radical, right? It's just not street fighting. And I'm not even a trained fighter, right? I got attacked a couple times in the streets, and it also made me my PTSD a little bit more active in the streets. So I'm not as able to de-escalate like I used to. I want to fight even more. Like, I get more aggro and more pissed. And as soon as I was reading that description, I got mad, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't go to that rally if I'm already feeling like this towards the people organizing it. So we'll see. But whatever I decide to do, it's also Beltane, and I just want to honor the flowers and honor this witchy holiday and Beltane Eve. And I hope if you're not doing something radical in the streets, maybe you'll go get radical in the woods and dance naked under the stars or something, right, for Beltane. So let's just get a card reading for us, a general collective reading. What is going to be important for us to know? That's either May Day labor movement related or Beltane movement or personal, right? Just a collective reading. What's going to be important for us to know? Damn it. Shuffling this deck is a little bit of a challenge. Ugh, and there's some hair, stray hair. What's going to be important to know for this collective right now? What should we know about or be aware of on this Beltane May Day Eve? Collective messages, please and thank you. It looks like we might be getting a workers reading, a radicals for Beltane reading, for May Day reading. Interesting. There are no majors in this layout. Oh wait, yes there is, sorry. And it's the devil, I think. The lovers, okay. So in the very cornerstone card is, and the only major arcana card for this layout is the lovers card. That's in the cornerstone. So this either indicates romance, but what it's striking me as, since there's not a lot of love cards present, is that this is more about having a choice. And it's a big choice. It's a pivotal choice because it's the only major in the spread. And it's in the cornerstone. So this is the key card, really. This is the key, is that this is an important decision that we're approaching here in this collective. It's an important decision. It could be a decision like the one that I just laid out, or it could be any other kind yet. We don't know. It's a decision about, actually, you know what? I always think this is a Pentacles card, and then I read it, and it's actually the Three of Cups. And so there might be a choice that's being made in love, in a love triangle, for example. Or it could be just a decision about who you want to be connected to closely, like who are your really closest loves in your life. You have some choices about that. Here's the Two of Pentacles, which is another card of choice. So these two choice cards are kind of bookending this Three of Cups. So now it is kind of, it's weird. I spoke too soon. I was saying I don't think this is a love reading, but now it kind of seems like it is a love reading, but it's more about the decision that somebody's facing in love. It's less about like, oh, romance. Someone's coming in to get in touch with you and get ready to be swept off your feet. It's not so much that. What we're glimpsing is somebody's facing a very important choice in love, and it's grave, and they seem to be aware of that. They seem to be aware that this is a very important choice, because it's like choice, choice, choice. That's like the big foundational issue here. And there's some kind of theft or deception also present in this choice. So I don't know what that is. We'll get more information about what the deception is, but this is interesting. There's a Queen and King of Pentacles here, but there's a third party, because there's a Three of Cups here, but these are the only two court cards, is a couple. So there's a couple being highlighted here. There's one person in the relationship is being faced with a choice. The other person in the equation might have been the deceiver, right? Okay, one of these two people. In this case, I don't normally read reversals, but in this case, it looks like it might be useful to do so. And it's the King of Pentacles is potentially the one that's been deceptive here, because he's the one that came in reverse. But let's just keep going here and we'll get a little bit more. You're in a real dilemma in your mind. You can't make up your mind, and the choice may be weighing very heavily on you because of that. You're really in your head. You can't sleep, possibly. You can't seem to stop turning this problem over and over in your mind. It's really got you tripped out in your air element, this whole situation here. And I keep coming back to this, that I think it might be a triangle. The vulnerability is work. So this may have been a love triangle that happened at a work site, okay? And then now there's a lot of worry in place, because if there's any, if we're speaking of labor and workplace relationships, right? Like, you have to be really careful if you get into a relationship at work, because there's all kinds of things that they want you to do. Like, in some workplaces, they'll say, well, we really kind of frown on workplace relationships, but if you do get into a relationship, come notify us in human resources, so we know that this is a consensual romantic relationship. There's no confusion about it. Nobody can suddenly get mad and decide you sexually harassed me when you were actually in a consensual relationship, for example, right? And so it's looking to me like something is playing out in this way, that there's been a workplace relationship. Someone was deceptive, possibly this king, but we don't really know, because I don't tend to read reversals, so we'll get more clarity just to make sure. And it's in the work site. It's made everybody vulnerable at work that this triangle has taken place, okay? Well, that's interesting too, now that I think about it, because even though this king is in the reverse here, he's in the strengths position. So now it strikes me as not necessarily that he's the deceptive one, or the queen. Maybe it could be. I mean, the queen showed up in the shadow position, so it could be a queen who's acting out of her shadow, okay? This Queen of Pentacles in the relationship. And that's what's causing all of this confusion and fear and betrayal and need to make a choice that's really weighing heavily on someone in the situation. In your conscious mind here, you know that you're going to be okay on your own. So you might be thinking about ending this relationship, and you are very worried about it, because let's say it was a workplace relationship. You're now thinking about ending the relationship, but you're worried about what this person's going to do. Are they going to trash your reputation at work? Are they going to report you to HR? If it's been a longer term relationship, this person might know some of your secrets and decide to use those against you, right? Because someone here is deceptive. Those are the facts. Someone is being deceptive here, or a bad actor, okay? So you may understand that you need and want to be out of this relationship, and that you would be okay on your own, but you're not so sure, because you're not sure what this person is capable of. That's kind of now starting to be fleshed out. In the near future, where things are going is building something with a small group or another person. It's collaboration. This could be like collaborating with going and meeting with an attorney, for example, before you decide to let this person know you're going to get divorced, and consulting with an attorney and saying, what can I do? Like, we work together. We never disclosed our relationship to HR. This person's been deceptive and very vindictive, and now I don't know what kind of position I'm in to end the relationship. If they retaliate against me at work, what should I do? So this could be something like that, going and deciding I'm going to work with an attorney in order to end this relationship because I'm very worried about what it's going to do. That's coming through actually really strongly at this point. What was the deception about here? What was the deception? It strikes me as that it might be what it was the final straw that's got you wanting to end this relationship. You might be this King of Pentacles, and you're a strong King of Pentacles, right? Like, you have resources, you have money, you have sovereignty, you have respect. This person who might be operating in their shadow self may have power in the equation too, though, right? If you both work together, that's a form of power. Like, that person can go to HR and say anything they want, basically, and then you are in a position of having to defend yourself. Especially if you never did sort of the proper channels and, like, everybody went to HR and said, yes, we're in a consensual relationship, right? If that never happened, then this person does have maybe some room to try to smear you in some way, right? That could be a real concern here. What was the Seven of Swords? What was the Seven of Swords? Someone in this equation, it's like, rather than end the relationship, they went out and started a new relationship with someone else, and you may have found out about it. I don't know why this Ten of Cups is here. That's a little confusing based on the Seven of Swords. It might be that the Seven of Swords went and found joy somewhere else. I don't know. And you found out about this. And it's interesting, though, that the Three of Pentacles is here twice. Like, maybe, I don't know, What's the Ten of Cups here? You thought it's the Ten of Cups is associated to this king. It's the King of Pentacles that is, okay, what I feel like is coming out here is that give me a minute. Let me pull some, I think I know what's going on, but let me pull some clarifiers for this queen. Okay, yeah. So it's complicated. The situation is complicated. There's no totally innocent party here, is kind of what it's looking like. But things can get messy in love, right? It happens all the time. People cheat all the time. There's affairs all the time. There's even crimes of passion. So it's a little messy is what it's looking like. But what it's looking like to me is that this if this is you, this king in the equation has found out recently that somebody else loves them, okay? And it's made them very happy. It might be like an old love for this king. It's not the queen here, okay? It's somebody else. They are happy to have found this out. Whether this is you or somebody you know, I'm not really sure. it's made them feel like all of their dreams are coming true, that they have found out that this person loves them and wants a life with them and wants to build with them. The information came about to this king in a sneaky way, in like a backdoor way. So it may be that this person reached out to this king and said, and didn't put it on blast and like go show up at their work or even email, you know, it's like they did kind of a back channel way to let this person know. It reminds me of in The Office, the guy that worked in the warehouse. He really liked this other woman that worked in the warehouse, right? And then he found out that she was in a relationship and he was really disappointed. So he just kept it as a friendship, right? And he was like, well, she's with someone else. What can I do? But at some point, someone gave him the advice. They said, I don't think she's that happy. You could at least let her know how you feel and give her the choice to make, right? Like then she'll at least know how you feel. That's not doing anything wrong. It's just letting someone know, hey, I don't think this person treats you well. I think I could make you happy. I don't think you should. I think you should. I want to be with you. I really think you're incredible, right? And I respect that you're in a relationship and I'm going to leave you alone, but I wanted you to know. It's something like that, okay? And it's made the king really happy. The king's like, fuck, stoked, right? The king wants this. It's everything. The king is feeling like this could be everything I ever wanted, but I'm in a relationship with someone that I'm not happy with, and that I don't know how they're going to handle me ending the relationship, okay? So they're deep, this king is deep in their thoughts about what to do, because they know that if they move forward to tell this queen, I want to end our relationship, I'm not happy anymore, I think it's time that we part ways and move on, there's going to be conflict coming right to his door. There could even be things like putting a tracker on his car, practicing manipulation against him, right? So this person is not going to take the news well. And that's why the king is very tripped out and in their head and doesn't know what to do. So what about this Three of Pentacles? What is the Three of Pentacles here and where the energy is headed? Can we get some clarity on that? Here's the other queen. So the king is just in their thoughts. It's like maybe what's going to take place here is this king is going to decide, okay, I'm going to go for it. But they're aware that they're really going to have to gear up for this. If you are the king here, you're aware that, okay, if I choose, I'm going to build with this new person. I'm going to end this old relationship. I'm going to get single so that I'm available. And then I'm going to move towards this other queen and start working to build a life with them. It's like they feel like it's going to be really a long road because of this queen, okay? They feel like this queen's going to try to block it with this Two of Swords here. And they're a little bit worried about how it's going to impact things with the other party, the Queen of Wands, who may have notified this king, hey, I love you, right? Like, I want to be with you. I'm in love with you. This king is now like, I don't know what to do, because, I mean, I don't sense that the king feels that he wants to stay with this partner. I think he's just worried about what this person's going to be capable of if he ends the relationship with them. And especially if this other party knows that he's going to be with someone else. He's worried what's going to happen here. What's this? What else to understand about this Queen of Pentacles? Is that accurate? What is this queen going to do? What will this Queen of Pentacles do if the relationship is ended and he ends the things with her? What's going to happen? What will she do? What is something important to know? And it doesn't have to be gendered. It can be, you know, we always say that, but it's important to say that as often as we need to, that this doesn't have to be a feminine. It could be a masculine, right? It is what it is, right? It's just the way to illustrate that it's a couple and a love triangle here. What's this person, what do we need to understand about this shadowy queen over here? Escape. Finding refuge in stories is one of the defining characteristics of being human. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories to live through dark or dangerous times. Folklore and fairy tales, the realms of fairies, fauns, pale monsters, tests, and trials can be especially powerful, told and retold over great spans of time, as real as we want them to be. Let yourself daydream. So it's going to be important to think about, how does something like this typically go? This king knows this queen. So if he's worried for a reason, and it's what this card, the way that I'm taking that is that you need, if you're the king here, you really need to think out all the possible ways that she might try to retaliate against you, she or he, right? Whoever you're thinking about ending the relationship with. It's going to be important to go into, like, if you think about fairy tales, they're full of these kinds of triangles, right? Like an angry stepmother that comes in and hates the king's children from his former, I mean, that was my stepmother to a fucking T. She hated me because I reminded her of my dead mother, who my stepmom thought, well, I'll never measure up to Donita. Ron will always wish that I was Donita and never me. And she was so insecure and so unhealthy as a person that she abused me out of jealousy and rage and alcoholism and a bunch of other shit, right? So you know her. So look into story, look into history to figure out what are the kinds of things that this person might do. That's going to be important for you to think of. Really think about it. Like, are they going to try to smear me to my family? Are they going to try to smear me to my coworkers? Are they going to try to get me in trouble with HR? Are they going to try to, right? Like, just think through all of what they could possibly do. And then you'll be able to kind of start thinking about, like, what can I do if that happens? What's going to be my move, right? You can do a lot of, in therapy, that's a skill, and it's called coping ahead. Sometimes that can get a little out of control because then you're never in the present moment. But sometimes if you're going to make a decision that you know is going to have big ramifications, you want to try to cope ahead with different scenarios and play them through in your mind. Like, okay, if I wind up kicked out of the house because she changed all the locks, what's going to be my plan? Do I have a credit card? Do I have enough of a balance on there that I could go get a room for a week while I regroup and figure it out, right? Just stuff like that, right? That's the first piece of advice in dealing with this person. The other piece of advice is dream. Dreams tell stories, listen. So listen to your intuition. If you're this king, you're going to need to listen to your intuition about it. Like, if you think this person could sink to some deep lows, don't dismiss that. Don't think like, oh, that's crazy. Nobody, yes, they do. People act like that all the time, okay? You're not being crazy for wanting to face facts about this person, and that this person may not handle a breakup well, or being broken up with, right? Feeling rejected, especially if they have some kind of personality disorder or narcissistic tendencies. So pay attention to your intuition and don't underestimate this person, right? The weird jumble of dream logic can feel beyond our control, almost as though someone else is pulling the strings. It can be unclear where we are or how we've arrived there, but a surreal turn can cue what's really happening, and a lucid chance to turn our back on the stuff of nightmares. Dreams tell stories, listen. So your intuition is not going to steer you wrong if you're really trusting it about what this person might be capable of. And then the next one is Earth. Remember where you came from. Staying connected to where we come from can offer feelings of safety and comfort when we wander. A tangible element we can carry with us can be nourishing and bring with it a centered sense of self as we strike out into unfamiliar environments. Keeping home close to the heart insulates us from hostile energies, especially when we are subject to being cast in a harsh light. Remember where you came from. So remember who you can trust. Who are your allies, right? Who are the people in your community that you know have your back and that you know are not going to just listen to somebody smearing you, right? So you're going to want to find those people. I have a card in my deck that says, find and be with your loyal and devoted community of support. So you're going to need to do stuff like that too when it comes to dealing with this person. So it got more into advice for you versus what's this person going to do. I'm going to ask that though. Well, it kind of already said, I kind of already pulled that. They're going to bring conflict to your door. They're going to potentially do something like track your car or follow you. And they may try to be manipulative, okay? They may be powerful manipulators, okay? What else? What else about this person? They might be very impulsive and stoop to some crazy tactics to get you back, okay? They might use sex to lure you back in. If you're this king, they might end up manipulating you through sex, using your your sexual desire, right? They might try to seduce you, right? That's one thing. Empress, that's a little bit of an outlier. They might try to convince you, like, I'm her. Like, why, they might try to tell you, no, this person isn't everything they're cracked up to be. I'm really your queen, right? Like, you don't know what you're doing. They might have been kind of manipulative over this king's mind, is what I'm picking up. And so they might start saying something like, how could, I'm your queen. What are you thinking? You don't know what you're doing. You are acting out of your old childhood wounds or whatever. They might really try to pull out all the stops, okay? So that's just something they might... That's one thing that it's picking up here, is that they might try to manipulate your mind, and they might try to manipulate you with sex, okay, to try to keep you by luring you in with sex. That's also something that people do, right? Let's pull cards, though, about this other queen here. What about this other queen? Because this is definitely a triangle. She's very strong. It's a Queen of Wands, so she might be a Leo, because this represents Leo, and it's the Strength card. She's a strong person. There's a passionate attraction to her. You might feel a little bit obsessed with her, okay, and that's why you're so happy. This Devil card, okay, so I don't know. That's a little bit of a warning sign, though, with this Queen of Wands, too. Okay, you've got warnings over here, and now there's this Devil card. I'm not sure what to make of that. You're nervous about the new beginning. You're worried about the new beginning. Okay, I see what's going on here. Yeah, it's the choice again. It's not that she's a devil. It's that you're... I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just all coming. It's just coming out now in a repetition kind of way. You're worried about what this person is going to do if you decide to have a new beginning over here with this queen. You're worried because you're worried that you might be obsessed, or that it's not the right move, that maybe it's a devilish, like it's wrong for you to love her, right? Like you might feel like it's an attachment, and where's your loyalty to the person you're with, right? That, if you're a moral person, it can be a hard thing to think about, to leave and end a relationship if you know someone's not going to take it well. People often don't. They just decide, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay put, but then they're unhappy. And so it's up to you. I mean, you have free will. Everyone has free will to decide, can I live with that? Do I want to settle even though I'm not entirely happy? Do I feel like it's maybe better if I just stay for other reasons, the kids, finances, whatever, right? You're very confused here. This king is really confused. I'm picking up that you actually are not sure if you can trust this other queen, honestly. Even though you're really happy and feel like it could be everything that you ever dreamed, you don't know if that's true or not. You're not really sure. You sense that it's possible, but this other person over here is like, like they've been very convincing that you belong with them. And so you may be better off to not be with anyone, right? Like if you're no longer with this person, it might do you some good to just stay single for a while until you can sort through this, because it looks like it's got you feeling really overwhelmed. You don't know which person you can trust here. Although I sense that you're fairly certain that if you end this relationship with this person over here, they're going to raise some hell in your life. It sounds to me like you're also not even sure if you can really trust this other person either. So that's a problem, right? Like, do you want to just relationship hop? Probably not. So I'm going to put these away, because I don't even know now how this is going to be helpful to you other than to just witness you, because the message is a little bit confusing, and I feel like it's starting to reflect that you are it's reflecting your confusion. And I'm not here to say you should be with this person or should be with that person, so I want to make sure that I'm not trying to get across a position for one or the other, right? So let's just see. Let's just see some more information. Let's just do a quick relationship layout for the King and Queen of Pentacles. So for the relationship that the King of Pentacles is already in, what is the dynamic here? What's the dynamic between the King and Queen of Pentacles? Because the King is being faced with a choice. There's a triangle in place. Yeah, this is the King over here. He's worried about this choice. It's heavy, heavy, heavy on his mind. Here's the Queen of Pentacles. She knows something's up, and she is furious about it, okay? She knows something's going on, and that doesn't mean she's a bad person. I mean, if you sense that there might be some interference in your relationship, you're going to be mad. So I'm not trying to call this person out, but she's infuriated, and she might do things like it said in that first layout, she can be a manipulator. So she might be doing things like threatening suicide, okay? If you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. If you can see the way that this lion is swallowing these swords, it's like a destructive self-destruct. Like, I'm going to self-destruct if you leave me, right? Like, that's very manipulative, and that would explain kind of that Magician card. In her heart, she knows that something's going on, okay? She knows. She knows what's going on. Sorry, it's not that fucking A. What is wrong with me today? It's not the Ace of Swords. This card is not the Ace of Swords. It's Justice. So in her heart, she wants justice. In her mind, she's feeling really in a conflict over this. This king knows he's got to make a choice, and he's in his heart feels very worried and apologetic to everyone involved about the situation. That's what's going on. Here's the queen again. She's at the center of this. She's the third party, okay? Whatever's going on between the the king and queen of pentacles feels like it's blocking a new world that the king might have. So this person wants this queen to be stopped and wants this to not impact the king. This person wants to stop this new world from coming. The king feels worried and apologetic over here. So now let's do a relationship spread about the king and the Queen of Wands. Okay. What about the King and Queen of Wands, or the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands here? So here's the king again. He's worried about what the Queen of Pentacles is going to do. He has hope in his heart about the Queen of Wands, but he's very aware and conscious of what the Queen is going to do. It's like the Queen of Wands is very aware of this king not doing any moves towards her. She's doubtful at this point that this king's gonna actually choose to be with her. In her heart, she feels like maybe I should just stay. Maybe I'm just gonna be alone forever. Maybe I'm just better off single. I doubt that this person's ever gonna come towards me or do anything. She's skeptical. She doesn't feel like this is ever gonna happen, right? For whatever reason. It's a judgment day about whether they're going to build together or not. There's a major change in their fortune coming, okay? So the fate of this relationship is important here. It's a judgment day. What kind of a judgment day is going on here? Like, what is this? This Queen of Wands is really in love, okay? She's her healing is involved, or both your healing is involved here, okay? With this Temperance card. There's something about this judgment day, about this that's healing. This Queen of Wands is an empress and a healer, okay? You can't escape that because we've got the Empress, the Queen of Cups, and the Temperance card. This Queen of Wands is very in love. She's very healed. She's done a lot of healing work. At this point, she's like, this king is so worried about what the impact is going to be to his life if he tries to be with me that he's just never going to do it. It's like she's given up. This is who she is, though. She's an empress. She's a healer and healed. And she's a Queen of Cups, okay? So it's a judgment day. Whatever he chooses, whether it's her or to just stay with the Queen, it's a judgment day either way for both of them, okay, about who this person's going to choose. Maybe she's going to choose to walk away from all of it, you know. Maybe she's going to be like, I don't want to, you know, they both want to build together. They both want to create a life together. It's here at the very heart is the Three of Pentacles. They want to be together. But for that other queen, the Queen of Pentacles, it felt very unfair. Like in her heart, she feels that it's justice that she gets to be with that king. And in her mind, she's like, and fuck if anyone else is going to have him. And was like stabbing into her own energy, right? In a destructive way over the relationship. That was the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands over here is like, look, this king is never going to, maybe I know he loves me secretly. He's never going to do anything. A King of Wands is not expressive. He's in King of Cups is not an expressive person. He knows how he feels, but he doesn't express it. And this Queen of Wands has gotten to the point of like, I guess I'm just going to be on my own, because he's not going to ever do anything about what I said or how he feels or whatever, right? It's like, it doesn't matter if we want to be together, he's not going to do it. That's kind of what this person's feeling. He's not making any moves. It's frustrating. Why? I guess I'm just going to have to move on alone, because I can't, you know, we're not going to have my life on hold, right? What about this Wheel of Fortune? Because there's something about fate changing here in the near future for this King of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. What about this Wheel of Fortune? Someone's going to be standing their ground. Seeing clearly, a King of Swords. And examining his options with a lot of clarity and wisdom, and standing his ground while he does so. He's worried though. Like, and he's going from like, I'm clear in knowing what I want and I'm going to stand up for it and stand my ground, into worry and doubt. Like he's having trouble. The wheel keeps turning is what I'm sensing here. This is a little frustrating as in terms of energy. So I don't exactly know who's going to be catching this, whether it's the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, is you. I don't know who's who here. But what's some advice for you, whoever you are in this equation? What's some advice for you? I'm not going to say what's some advice for the King or what's some advice for the Queen, because I don't know who's listening. So what's some advice for you, collective, over this triangle? Whoever you are in the triangle itself, what is some advice for you for your greatest and highest good? What is some advice for you? What's some advice for you? Collective advice messages regarding this love triangle. Two of Cups at the split, so what's some advice? Well, it's to heal. It's to just keep doing your own work, whoever you are in the equation, to plant your seeds for healing You're going to be going through some more ego death experiences here, so just buckle up. The ride is not over in terms of the healing journey that you've been on. The facts position is the High Priestess, which is, the tarot's not going to reveal a lot more about what's to come in this equation. It's just saying your strength is that you don't have to do any more. Whoever you are listening, things are going to come to you. You can rest. You can relax. The healing work that you've already done is in play. There's new opportunities and new beginnings already happening and in the works. It's stuff that strikes me a little bit like the Wheel of Fortune. I feel really negative. I feel someone's really negative energy interfering in this reading. It feels very negative. There's like a surrender energy that's like just, and I'm going to just deliver the message because it's here. Your vulnerability is that you feel completely betrayed and backstabbed, and you're not sure who you can trust. Whoever you are listening regarding this triangle, there may be some people working together in a positive way or a negative way, but it's an echo of this Empress card. So there's positive things coming to you because you're an Empress. This is your strength, okay? Your shadow wants you to race ahead and get to the bottom of this and fight and get, go somewhere, do something, fight, figure it out. In your mind, you need to stay put. It's not your work to do. It's an enigma what's going on. There's going to be healing coming. It's a frustrating layout. I'm sorry. Part of me is like, do I even want to post this? How is this even helpful? It's like, it's just a glimpse into it maybe so that everybody knows what's going on, I guess. Why is this at such a standstill? Is it because this king can't make a decision or what? Like, why is it all at such a standstill? What is going on? Why is this like this? I feel a lot of really angsty, frustrated energy coming through this. Approach social interactions with an open heart. What does it mean to be made for each other? The impulse to connect with others, strangers, villagers, a special someone, is in its purest form the virtuous ethical basis for participation in human society. That this hopeful impulse may not be reciprocated, may even be rejected, can be a source of great pain. Approach social interactions with an open heart. So you can't control it. I'm sensing who this is for. It's for the Queen of Wands in the equation. You can't control this. The king's indecision, the king's feeling powerless, the king feeling overwhelmed and confused and not knowing what to do is not your problem. You've done what you can. It's up to the universe, okay? It's up to him if he's going to make a choice. You need to not let this close you down and harden you and make you close your heart. It's important for you to keep your heart open, and that's why that's your strength, because you're an Empress, okay? What else is the advice for you? When in conflict, as you sow, so shall you reap. Sharing a commitment to a cause, especially one that might seem a little corny to an outlander, can really bring a group of people together. Sure, the temptation to demonstrate that you are the truest believer can turn to blood sport, with a cutthroat response to those of shaky faith. But if the harvest is good, it can be worth all the effort. Okay, yeah. This is making sense. Like, you've done your work. You've been honest about how you feel. You've maintained your ethics. You've continued to be on your own healing journey. It's tempting right now because you're frustrated with this king's indecision, his slow movement or no movement at all, and his going back and forth and his feeling of commitment to somebody that you perceive to be toxic. It's wanting you to get in there and fight because you're sick of it and you're frustrated, and this is saying don't do it. Don't do it. You need, your strength is your Empress status, that you can just, your work is done. You have literally nothing else to do. Do not get in and fight with this other queen. Do not fight with the king. Don't contact anyone. Don't do anything. It's not for you to do anything. It's for you to continue sowing your good seeds of healing, of respect for the fact that this person isn't contacting you. It's not up to you to try to prove like that person's toxic for you. Don't you see? They've been copying me or trying to, you know, like whatever it is, right? It's not for you to try to convince anyone. That's coming through loud and clear. And that's where I must have been picking up on your frustration, because it is frustrating to feel like, okay, I've laid all my cards out on the table. I have a sense that you feel the same way, but you're literally not doing anything about it. And so that's where the frustration's coming from. But it's frustrating, I know. But it's not for you to do anything. It's not for you to go racing towards a person to try to convince them. It's not for you to go try to battle it out with this other person in the equation. None of it. Your work is done. You need to stay in your own energy. Oops. And finally, yeah, oh wow. Okay, these are 3 flyers. The Tower, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. A little contradictory energy here. Four of Cups is a stagnant kind of energy. Knight of Pentacles is very slow-moving energy. And then the Tower. So that might be where the Wheel of Fortune comes in. The fortune and fate might change all of a sudden and bring a radical shakeup to what feels like a stuck impasse where you're just like, I don't know. I've literally done everything I can. I've told this person I love them. I've respected their space. I've, you know, like something's going to shift, but it's not up to you, okay, to make that happen. And finally, Wonder of the World. Fortune favors the bold. Focus on what makes you feel special. Everyone has unique qualities, and you do too. Proclaim your individuality. Shout it from the rooftops. Show the world what only you can do. While attracting attention may lead to misunderstanding and others trying to take you down, bravery can bring admiration and even spark wonder. So what I take that to mean is just bravely continue to live your life. Shine like the star that you are. Be the amazing empress, healer, lover, sensual, seductive goddess that you are. Let go of this king's confusion. It's not your problem. You know who you are. Don't let this king's confusion about the relationship make you feel badly, like you are not good enough, or like you are not wild enough, or you are not exciting enough, or whatever it is, right? It's not for you to let that creep in and mess with your head. The fact that this person's confused and in a cloud of not knowing what to do, so just not doing anything, is not your problem. Shine like the star that you are. Continue being amazing. Even if it attracts the hating evil eye of that Queen of Pentacles, that's her problem, right? It's her problem. You're not doing anything. You're not trying to get this person to cheat on her. You're not trying to be a third party. You're not trying to do anything shady or underhanded. And so any attempt to retaliate from you is just going to take you down into a lower vibration. So just continue to be the shining star that you are, the gorgeous empress that you are, the high priestess that you are, and just keep doing your own work, because that's all you can do. But know that there's a Tower coming and a Wheel of Fortune shift is coming, okay? It may be out of anyone's hands. It may be something that comes in like divine intervention. Maybe I'll ask that one question before I wrap up. What's the Tower and Wheel of Fortune? What's it going to look like here? And now I can feel the energy kind of easing up again. So it's like, yeah, don't do anything. You don't need to do anything other than just keep being the beautiful person that you are, right? Final messages for this layout. message in a bottle. That's kind of encouraging. That might be the Tower. Oh, that's what I asked. I was like, what's the Tower in the Wheel of Fortune? It's communication coming in. Card 15. You can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, a phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good will come of it in the end. The signs are all there. You are on target with your purpose and your passion. You are coming into alignment with your destiny, and Spirit wants you to know that you're on the right track. Expect a call, a new opportunity, or a message from an old friend or business contact that will lead you closer to your dreams and greatest desires. Spirit has been listening to you. So, dude, Queen of Wands, you have no reason to get down here. You're about to get really good news. So whatever conflict is this couple is embroiled in, whatever confusion this other person is that you love is in, do not sweat it, because good things are coming for you because you've been doing all your work, and because you're an Empress and a High Priestess and a Temperance Angel and a Queen of Cups and a Queen of Wands. You're like divine feminine earth angel energy. There's positive information coming in for you, whether it's from another opportunity financially, from another love opportunity, whatever. It's yours, and it's your Wheel of Fortune that's changing for you. So do not let that stagnant, confused energy creep in and get you down and get you feeling surly like I was starting to feel. I was really starting to feel surly and irritable, like I wanted to just, why did I do this, right? And that's because I was feeling how that felt to you, right? So I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and happy May Day and happy Beltane. I'll see you in the next one. I'm probably going to do another live on Friday, and I might keep doing those for a while because I like it. Oh, God damn. I couldn't do my red light therapy today, and I'm just all stiffened up again. Thank you.